Here's the thing. Both fighters have the tendency to grab. The last fight anyways. Sergey grabbed a lot for whatever reason. Andre does that. The second fight, here's what I definitely tell Sergey. Ward's not a body puncher. In order to be a body puncher, you have to be willing to accept punishment. How much punishment is Ward willing to accept if Sergey is digging deep and hard to the body? Those questions should be answered. So I don't think Ward will sit there and take those kind of punches if he has to. Those are the words of John David Jackson, the trainer of Sergey Kovalev, going into the rematch this weekend with his fighter, Sergey Kovalev and Andre Ward. I'm now going to quote Sergey Kovalev. He also has a couple things to say here about the first fight. He said, "I did everything on my distance, from the long distance and middle distance. I fought very good for the first 6 rounds till I lost the energy. And like in the 5th round, when I lost the energy, I started to lose control of the fight because I lost the speed. I lost the reaction. I was empty. Andre Ward fought with an empty Kovalev." So those are the words of Sergey Kovalev. Anybody who looked at the first fight objectively will know that Sergey Kovalev was actually doing more holding than Andre Ward was in the fight. He was initiating the majority of the clinches. You know, Ward is a guy who gets blamed a lot for holding and being rough on the inside and making fights ugly. And sometimes that's a valid criticism. But in the Kovalev fight, it was Sergey Kovalev initiating most of the clinches. And to me, it seemed to be a tactical decision by Kovalev as a way of shutting down Andre Ward's inside game. Ward is rough on the inside. He pushes you back, he gets you off balance, he roughhouses you, he gets those short little arms that he has free and gets shots off while holding one of your arms, which is legal, by the way. It's legal to hold one arm and work with the free hand. That's perfectly legal. Kovalev didn't want any of that. Kovalev is not really an inside fighter. So he thought, you know what, I'm not going to try and fight inside with this guy. That's his game. He likes them kind of messy, mauling situations. So I'm just going to grab him, push him back to the ropes every single time he gets that close to me. And that's what Kovalev did. So I think it was a tactical thing there. Interesting that John David Jackson, his trainer, says he doesn't know why Sergey Kovalev did that. That suggests that Kovalev was working on tactics without input from John David Jackson, or at least without John David Jackson's knowledge. He had planned to do certain things and he had no intention of telling John David Jackson about it. That's what John David Jackson's comments there would seem to suggest. Now, as far as Ward not being a body puncher, he's certainly no Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. in terms of body punching. He's no Errol Spence in terms of body punching, but he gets them body shots off. Don't get it twisted. If Sergey Kovalev don't hold on the inside the way that he did in the first fight, I actually think that it's going to be to Kovalev's detriment. Maybe I'll be wrong, but that's what John David Jackson seems to be suggesting here, that Kovalev stop holding on the inside and actually trade with Andre Ward. Yes, Kovalev is very powerful, but I don't think he's a natural inside fighter. I think that's Ward's domain, and although Ward don't hit anywhere near as hard, he's very good at smothering your work so you can't get your shots off and then landing his own. I mean, you look at what he did to Carl Froch on the inside. You look at what he did to Mikhail Kessler on the inside, Alan Green on the inside. All these guys are much harder punchers than Andre Ward. Yeah, they're not as big a puncher as Sergey Kovalev, none of them, but they're all much harder punchers than Andre Ward. And when they tried to engage him on the inside, they got mauled, they got pushed off balance, and they got hit with left hooks. I think that is what is likely to happen to Sergey Kovalev if he tries to trade with Ward on the inside. That's my view. Obviously, there's a chance that he could land a bomb and hurt Ward, make Ward back off, make Ward run away. That's possible. But, I don't know, Ward's just very slick on the inside. Very good, crafty, knows how to protect himself up close. I think Kovalev's best chance of landing the big shots is at long range and mid range. He appeared to have the longer arms than Andre Ward. That's how it appeared to me. A lot of Ward's shots, which would normally land, were falling short against Sergey Kovalev. So Kovalev's control of distance was good against Ward. Again, he seemed to have the longer arms and just seemed like the more rangy fighter. Up close, where Ward has got shorter arms and he's much more experienced at very, very close quarters, I would advise Sergey Kovalev not to mess with Ward there. I would say continue the same tactics from the first fight. Tie Ward up. As long as it's not excessive clinching, then tie Ward up when Ward gets up close. And just throw more power shots from the outside. And certainly one thing I do agree with John David Jackson on is that Sergey Kovalev needs to go to Ward's body. I think he definitely needs to do that because he can certainly hurt Ward. If he can go to his body, he can take Ward's legs away, make him a more stationary target, and then those big bombs can come in and maybe you can get the knockout that he's craving in this fight. But then again, if he decides to go to Ward's body, he's got to be careful because Ward does have that left hook, and going towards body is going to expose Kovalev's own head. So, yeah, Ward's very tricky with his footwork, the way he moves around, so on and so forth. So, it's a nice idea, but it's easier said than done. But in principle, I think that's what Kovalev needs to be looking for. He needs to be careful, but he needs to be looking for Ward's body, slow him down, take those legs away. If you can make him a stationary target, then surely Kovalev has got a very good chance of scoring the knockout. Drop your comments in the comment section below. Let me know what you feel about Sergey Kovalev's comments here, which I quoted, and also his trainer John David Jackson's comments. And let me know what you think of my views on these particular quotes. All right, drop it all below.